Hi students, now we are going to discuss one of the methods of vector addition, that is called triangle law of vector addition. Normally in mathematics we have studied how to add two numbers like 3 and 7. If you add it is equal to 10. Suppose if you add two negative numbers minus 3 and minus 7, it will be equal to minus 10. So this addition is called analytical or arithmetic addition of numbers. In the same way, vectors cannot be added. So we are following the geometric method. Okay. So this is graphical method or geometric method of adding the two vectors. Now, for example, I have taken the two given vectors, A vector and B vector. Both are represented in magnitude by OP and PQ respectively. So the length of the vector or the length of this OP is equal to the magnitude of the vector A, and the length PQ is equal to the magnitude of the vector B. Now I want to add these two vectors A and B. So for that I want to find A plus B, vector A plus vector B. So for that I will keep the vector A as it is. Okay, so this is vector A is undisturbed. So this is OP. Now the second vector is attached with the first vector such that the tail of the second vector is in contact with the head of the first vector, and we have to take care that the angle made between the two vectors should not change. So I am just moving this vector B such that the tail P of the second vector is in contact with the head of the first vector, so that the angle between the two vectors theta remains the same after shifting also. So this is PQ and this vector is B. Now in the second picture you can see that the vector A and the vector B are in the same order, in a cyclic order. So if you start from O, you go towards P, then from P you go towards Q. Totally from O to P, P to Q is in the anti-clockwise direction. It is in the anti-clockwise direction. So these two vectors must be added such that they must be in the cyclic order, that is in the same order. Both should be clockwise or both should be anti-clockwise. Now in this picture, A vector and B vector are joined such that they are in the same anti-clockwise order. Okay. Now how to find the resultant of these two vectors? When you add one vector with another vector, the resultant will be another vector only. The resultant should be surely a vector. So what is that vector? In direction as well as magnitude, we are going to find the resultant vector. Okay. Now I will join the tail of vector A with the head of vector B. That is, I am going to join the points O and Q. Okay, O and Q are joined like this. This O and Q, after joining, the direction is taken from O towards Q. That is, the vector OQ, it is represented by the resultant vector R. So this resultant vector R is found to be in a direction opposite to that of the two given vectors. See that A and B are in the anti-clockwise order. Now the resultant vector R is in the clockwise order, opposite to that of A and B. So this way of representing the two given vectors along the two sides of a triangle taken in the same order. Okay, this is only called as triangle law of vector addition. And now the resultant is found to be the third side of the triangle. The third side of the triangle gives you what? The resultant vector, which is taken in the opposite order. So you must have studied the statement of triangle law of vectors, is it not? If two given vectors are represented by the two sides of a triangle taken in order, in the same order, then the resultant vector is given by the third side of the triangle taken in the opposite order. So here the two given vectors A and B are in the anti-clockwise direction. The resultant vector R is in the clockwise direction. Now we want to get an expression for the magnitude of the resultant vector R and also the direction of the resultant vector R. So for that I am going to do some geometrical constructions. So before that I will take the angle made by the resultant R, the angle made by the resultant vector R with the horizontal direction. This is alpha. The value of this angle alpha only gives you the direction of the resultant vector. Understand? Okay. Now what is the geometrical construction I am going to do is, I will project this point Q on the x-axis, okay, on the horizontal. So I am going to project this point like this. Okay. So this is vector B inside. This one is vector B. So I have projected such that this angle is a right angle. So I will take this point as N. This is a 90 degree angle. P, N, Q is right angled. So this angle is a theta. Theta is the angle between the two given vectors. Okay, A and B. So now I want to find the expression for the resultant vector. R vector is equal to A vector plus B vector. Now first of all, what are the two given vectors? What is the magnitude of A and B? I will write. So if I will write A vector inside this modulus, the modulus of A vector is equal to the magnitude of the vector A, and this is represented by the length of the side OP. Okay, this is OP. Similarly, if I will take the modulus of the vector B, so modulus of the vector B is given by the length of the side PQ. So this is equal to the magnitude B, and that is equal to the length of the side PQ. Similarly, the length OQ is the magnitude or modulus of the vector R. So modulus of vector R must be equal to the magnitude R, and that is equal to the length of the side OQ. Okay, now you look at the smaller right angled triangle here, PQN. Okay, so in right angled triangle PQN, angle N is 90 degree and angle P is theta. You tell me what is the value of sine theta in this smaller triangle. Sine theta is equal to what? Opposite side QN divided by hypotenuse PQ. So I will write here. So sine theta, okay, sine theta is equal to opposite side, this is QN divided by the hypotenuse PQ. So the length of the side PQ. The length of the side PQ is already equal to what? The magnitude of the vector B. See here, this PQ is having a magnitude of the vector B. So this is also equal to what? QN divided by PQ is equal to B. I am substituting B. Therefore, what is QN is equal to? Therefore, QN alone is equal to this B into sine theta. B sine theta. Is it not? Okay, now in the same triangle, PQN, you tell me what is cos of theta now. Cos value of this theta, I will write here. So, cos of theta is equal to what? Adjacent side by hypotenuse, is it not? So, the side adjacent to theta is what? Pn. So, I will write here in the numerator Pn divided by the hypotenuse once again equal to what? The length of the side PQ. So, this is divided by PQ. So, this is equal to Pn divided by the length is equal to the magnitude of the vector B. Okay. Therefore, what is the Pn now equal to? Pn is equal to B into cos of theta. So, I will take this is equation 1. Okay. Qn is equal to B sin theta is equation 1 and Pn is equal to B cos theta is equation 2. So, these are all the introductory steps before we get the expression for the resultant vector. Now, the modulus of vector R is equal to the magnitude. Is it not? The magnitude of the resultant. So, I am going to derive an expression for the magnitude of a resultant. So, magnitude of the resultant vector. I want to find an expression for R, capital R. So for that, very simple it is, very easy also. You look at another larger right angled triangle, OQN. So OQN is a right angled triangle. In this right angled triangle, the hypotenuse is equal to OQ. So in this right angled triangle, I am going to apply Pythagoras theorem. Okay. So according to that, this OQ square, the length OQ square is equal to the bottom ON square. So this is a ON square plus QN square. Okay. This is a QN square. Am I right? So I have substituted the Pythagoras theorem for this larger triangle OQN. Now once again, can you all see here the base ON, okay, the longer side ON, that is equal to OP plus PN. Is it right? So this ON also is equal to OP plus PN. So instead of the length ON, I am going to write this is also equal to OP plus PN the whole square plus QN square. Now, what is OP already equal to the length OP? Here you see length OP is equal to what? The magnitude of the vector A, is it not? The modulus of vector A. So instead of OP, shall I substitute A now? So this is equal to what? This is equal to inside the bracket A plus instead of Pn, here you see equation 2. Instead of this length Pn, we are going to substitute B cos theta. Is it not? So instead of this Pn, I am going to substitute this is B into cos of theta. Okay. So OP plus Pn the whole square plus what is Qn? You see the equation 1. What is Qn equal to? B sin theta. So here Qn square is equal to what? B sin theta the whole square. So I am going to expand. The bracket. That's all. Okay. So here OQ square, OQ. Now instead of OQ, the length of the side OQ. Can you see here OQ is also equal to what? The magnitude of the resultant vector R. So I can also substitute here R square equal to. So this is R square. Left hand side OQ square is also replaced by R square. So I will expand this formula A plus B whole square. Okay. So like that, this is first term will be A square plus second term will be B square cos square theta. So this is B square cos square theta plus the third term is 2 into AB cos theta. So this is 2 into AB into cos theta plus the last another term is there, that is B square sin square theta. So this is equal to what? B square sin square theta. Okay. Now you see here B square cos square theta term and here B square sin square theta is there. So which is the common factor? B square is the common factor. So this will be equal to A square plus B square is a common term into this cos square theta. Okay, cos square theta plus sin square theta. So in trigonometry we have studied cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. Okay. So the third term is 2 into AB into cos of theta. Okay. Then this is also now equal to A square plus B square into 1. So this whole term is equal to 1. Next is plus 2AB into cos of theta. So left hand side is now R square. We need only R. Therefore now R alone is equal to square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So this is the expression for the magnitude of the resultant vector. So this is equation number 3. We have derived easily an expression for the resultant, okay, magnitude of the resultant. So that is the length of the side OQ we have found. So if you substitute the value of these two given vectors A and B and the angle theta between the two vectors, you can find out the magnitude of the resultant vector. Okay, in which direction is the resultant vector acting? Can you all see that the resultant vector R is neither along A nor along B in some other direction by making an angle alpha with what? With the A vector or horizontal. So I want to find an expression for alpha. So that is a direction. Okay, direction of resultant. Next step is what? Direction of resultant. So for that I want to find what is tan value of alpha. Tangent value of alpha. So tangent of this value of alpha is equal to what? Opposite side divided by adjacent side. So side opposite to alpha is what? Qn. So this is equal to Qn divided by the side adjacent is what? On. So this is equal to Qn by On. This is equal to Qn divided by On is the sum of OP and Pn. So this is a On which is equal to OP plus Pn. So this is OP plus Pn. So what is OP equal to here? A. I am going to substitute OP is equal to A and Pn. Pn is equal to B cos theta in the denominator. Similarly, what is Qn? Qn is equal to what? B sin theta. I am going to substitute. So tan of alpha is equal to Qn is B sin theta. So here I will write this is B sin theta divided by OP plus Pn. So OP is what? A. So this is A plus B cos theta. This is the tangent value of alpha. Therefore, only what is alpha equal to? Therefore, alpha is equal to tan inverse. Okay, tan inverse of B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. So this is the final expression for the direction of the resultant. So this is equation 4. So we have derived an expression for both the magnitude of the resultant vector R and the direction of the resultant. So it is found that the magnitude of the resultant R equal to square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, depending upon the value of theta. Say for example, these two vectors are along the same straight line. That is theta is equal to 0. So cos 0 will be equal to 1. So cos theta term will be equal to 1. So inside the square root A square plus B square plus 2AB into 1. So square root of A plus B whole square. What is it equal to? A plus B only. So when two vectors are acting along the same straight line, and directly you add their magnitudes, that's all. Okay, suppose if two persons are pulling a box with 5 Newton and 2 Newton, the resultant force is 5 plus 2 is equal to 7 Newton. Is it not? Suppose if two persons are pulling the same box, okay, 5 Newton on the left side and 2 Newton on the right side. So what will be the resultant force? We know it practically that it is 5 minus 2 is equal to 3 Newton, and that also will be acting along the greater force direction. So in this case, when two vectors are acting in the opposite direction but along the same straight line, what is theta equal to? 180 degree. 180 degree. Understand? So cos 180, that will be equal to minus 1. So here, if theta is equal to 180 degree, then R is equal to square root of A square plus B square minus 2AB will come. So it is square root of A minus B whole square. That is equal to simply A minus B, that's all. Suppose if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, understand? So what is that value you will get? It will be like a right angled triangle. A is acting horizontally, B is acting vertically. The angle between them is 90 degree. What is cos 90? 0. So the third term will become 0. So naturally, you will get R is equal to square root of A square plus B square. It is the Pythagoras theorem only again. Is it not? Have you all understood? Once again I will recall the statement. So what is the statement of a triangle law of vector addition? If two vectors are represented by the two sides of a triangle taken in the same order, you have to highlight it. Taken in the same order, then their resultant is given by which side? The closing side or the third side of the triangle. taken in which order? In the opposite order. Understand? Now, suppose if 3 vectors are given, then 3 vectors are given means they cannot be represented by triangle, because fourth side will come as the resultant. Suppose 4 vectors are given, the fifth completing vector will be the resultant vector. So there is a generalized law you must know. Understand? That is called polygon law of vector addition. Polygon law of vector addition. Say for example, suppose if one vector, this is second vector, okay, then this is third vector, and this is fourth vector. So vector 1, 2, 3, 4. I have shown 4 vectors. So what is the resultant of all these 4 vectors? The tail of the first vector is joined with the head of the first vector like this. Can you all see the resultant vector clearly? Yes? So vector 1, 2, 3, 4 are in the same cyclic order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 vectors are representing any 4 sides of a polygon. Understand? A polygon taken in the same order. Now the closing side of the polygon will be the resultant of these 4 vectors. Since this polygon is having 5 sides. Understand? The fifth side is equal to the resultant. So this is a generalized law which is called as polygon law. Now special consideration is for what? 2 vectors. Understand? Have you all understood? Fine.